So, come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live from BroncoNationNews.com is presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Good morning, Bronco Nation. How we doing? Happy Thursday to you. Happy December 26th. Hope everybody had a great Christmas, great couple days with family and friends, and got some great gifts. But we are back at it today. It's game week for the Boise State football team. Their typical Monday of game week as they get back into town. They will practice this afternoon, have meetings, and get back towards that prep of the Fiesta Bowl. And we are here pretty much daily from here on out to get you set for the Fiesta Bowl as well. My name is BJ Rains. This is Bronco Nation News Live. We're coming to you from the Western Collective Studios here in Meridian. And our partner today on a Thursday, as we get to chat with every Thursday throughout the year, they're in the RowPaint.com studios at KTIK in downtown Boise. You know him, you love him, Johnny Ballgame, Johnny Mallory. Johnny, Merry Christmas, man, and we're back at it.
Can't wait, man. Yeah, it's weird. It's like Thursday, but it doesn't feel like a Thursday at all. We have
got Monday and Tuesday off.
Huh?
Some of us on this show took Monday and Tuesday off. So, yeah, you haven't had a show in a while.
We haven't, man. Yeah, I know. But I'm ready to go. I was getting to the point where I wanted to get back to work, right? We had so much time off. Last show we did was Friday. It's Thursday. So, yeah, fired up, ready to go. And the coverage is going to be spectacular as we all get ready for a Fiesta Bowl.
And we've had a lot of Penn State fans infiltrate the chat last couple of shows. So I would assume, Johnny, we're going to have some Penn State folks jumping in here with some of their takes. We've had great viewership the last couple of days. But, yeah, you had, Christmas, and then you kind of wake up today. And like I said, Johnny, it's game week. It's finally here, and it's going to be a lot of fun here. Penn State, Boise State, and we can, we're going to get Dirk Cutter today and some offensive players, get Eric Chenander tomorrow, some defensive players, and then boom, Saturday, they are airborne for Phoenix. So it's like it or not, man, game week is here.
Yeah, it is. And Sunday, you have that huge media blitz where we're all going to be in the hotel and just free for all on interviews. So we're going to get some really fun, really good interviews there out of that. And we're doing Idaho Sports Talk. You're doing BNN from location Monday and Tuesday of the Fiesta Bowl. Prater and I are hopping on a little early that day, and we're going to do like a lead up and then Bronco game night after. You'll do your post game too. So it's going to be terrific from that respect. The game, though, wow, what a matchup, right? Penn State, a national power, historical power, coming from the Big Ten. They've never lost a Fiesta Bowl, 7-0. Boise State never lost a Fiesta Bowl, 3-0. These programs, BJ, have never played before, as far as I know. I mean, unless there was Boise got its ass kicked going from the Big Sky one year. But no, these programs have never played. Very passionate fan bases. One team is a double-digit favorite, Penn State. So, my gosh, man, is it going to get ugly? Is Boise State going to do what it typically does as double-digit underdogs, more than show up and make this a good game? There's just a lot of things to talk about, what the teams do well, what they struggle with. And, yeah, I mean, if Penn State's going to come in there and absolutely destroy Boise State like their fan base thinks, then there's going to be a lot of somber Boise State fans if the season certainly ends like that, because most Boise State fans I'm seeing and following and whatnot, they think this will be a game. They're real confident in their team's chances too.
I've been doing my research, my preparation here, Johnny. I've got some questions I'm putting together for the media day. And one of the games I plan to play with some of the players is how well do you know your position coach? So I got some questions about some of the position coaches, and I'm going to ask the wide receivers about Matt Miller, and the linebackers about Stacy Collins in terms of where they went to college, and just some different questions and things about their past, and try to have some fun with it. Media day, I feel like, Johnny, it's 2 days before the game. We're getting, as I said, Genty and Madsen and those guys today. We're getting main defensive players tomorrow. Like, I feel like the media day where every player on the entire team, every coach, every player is available for interviews, like you said. I feel like that's more of a day to be a little more lighthearted and have some fun, and not necessarily dive straight into the matchup with Penn State when everybody's talked about that and known that by now. So I was saying last week, I'm trying to come up with maybe it's Notriani. Is he the hardest name on the team to spell, the hardest last name? Is it Notriani? Is it, I don't know, ask guys if they can spell somebody's last name or whatever. And I'm going to ask trivia questions about coaches and things. So we're going to try to have a little fun with media day and put some little packages together there.
Yeah, we're going to do similar stuff, some 2-on-1 interviews, Prater and myself, grabbing a player, a couple minutes there. So going to be terrific coverage for this fan base, BJ, getting ready for one of the biggest games in school history. I can't imagine what downtown Boise is going to be like on a New Year's Eve countdown after Boise State has won its 4th Fiesta Bowl. And then vice versa. If Boise State does not win this game or lose in a particular fashion, how that might affect any type of buzz New Year's Eve in downtown or whatnot. I remember the 2014 Fiesta Bowl, BJ. That was a New Year's Eve game, and that was rocking after Coach Harsin and the fellas, Jay Ajayi, won that Fiesta Bowl. The town just enhanced that New Year's Eve. This will definitely do that, and this will be an even bigger level because you get to keep playing, BJ. Then you're going to look at a matchup between Georgia or Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl, which is just going to be crazy. So, New Year's Eve, this thing, and we'll see if Boise State's healthy, how healthy. We'll see what Genty can do. We'll see what Penn State can try to do to stop Genty. What's Boise State going to do to stop Penn State's big players, the tight end certainly, and lots of questions to ask these coaches about that today, BJ.
Well, hopefully, speaking of New Year's Eve, folks are planning to watch the game at the brewery there in Garden City for Western Collective, Johnny. They're having a watch party for the game. They're going to raise some money for the Horseshoe Collective. So if you're not going to the Fiesta Bowl and you need a spot to watch the game, head over to Garden City, just off the connector there, Western Collective's brewery. They're going to have food specials, drink specials, some former players, I believe, hanging out. And a portion of the proceeds go to benefit the Horseshoe Collective. So head on over there to the Western Collective watch party for the Fiesta Bowl at their brewery in Garden City. I mentioned our title sponsor, RoePaint.com. I know Andy Rowe is heading down to the Fiesta Bowl as well. ROEPaint.com, our title sponsor. Check them out, RoePaint.com. All your painting needs, including those concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting. Check them out, our title sponsor at RoePaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Check them out Idaho Central Credit Union, all your banking needs. Hit up Idaho Central Credit Union to get online, iccu.com. Matt Bauscher Real Estate. When you buy or sell a home from Matt and his team, you get to meet everybody in that picture right there. The personalized service is unmatched. No home is too big or too small. I know everybody has 5 realtors in town, but I promise you, you go with Matt Bauscher, the service is going to be unmatched. Check them out online at BauscherRealEstate.com. And Ridley's Family Markets, shopRidleys.com. They got 13 locations around the state of Idaho, the surrounding states. I know Johnny's a frequent visitor at the Kuna location. You got a lot of other Treasure Valley, Magic Valley locations as well. The McCall location is great this time of year, so check them out. Download the Skip app, get up to 40% off at the checkout line at shopridleys.com. And they are one of the big sponsors of our VIP basketball experience, February 4th. You want to go down to Las Vegas for the conference game there. Big matchup in February. It's a Tuesday night. You get to head down early, hang out at Stadium Swim for a couple hours, a nice dinner at Barry's Steakhouse. You go to the game in a limo, you hang out with the BNN team, and you're going to and from on a private jet. So this is year 3 of the VIP basketball experience, brought to you by Ridley's Family Markets and some of our other great sponsors. If you're interested in this, again, you got to be a yearly subscriber. So jump on in now. Be a yearly subscriber at Bronco Nation News for just $50 using that promo code BNN50 deal. And if you are a yearly subscriber already, you're automatically entered. And in a couple weeks here, we'll draw the name, and lucky person's going to get to ride on a private jet, the experience of a lifetime, the VIP basketball experience to Las Vegas, brought to you by Bronco Nation News and a lot of our great sponsors, including Ridley's Family Markets. All right, Johnny, we mentioned Dirk Cutter talking today, some of the offensive players. We'll get Eric Chinander and the defensive players tomorrow. And the same for Penn State, by the way. Andy Kolonicki, their offensive coordinator, who came from Kansas last year, so I'm pretty familiar with him. That's one of the reasons Kansas struggled early in the season. Kolonicki had left to go to Penn State, but he's a very highly regarded offensive coordinator. They've done a lot of different things with their offense at Penn State this year, and then some of the offensive players at Penn State. I wish they would swap it, by the way. If you're going to have offense for one team, I wish the defense for the other team would talk, so you could kind of have a little more stuff that correlates. But it'll be both offensive coordinators and staffs today, both defensive coordinators and staffs tomorrow. But a lot of people are talking about Dirk Cutter and the possibility of the Fiesta Bowl and running trick plays and things. And Johnny, your gut feel. I mean, Prater said that's not who he is. He's just a running up, just his stick to his bread and butter, his base plays, whatever. But do you think they're at least putting in the Statue of Liberty to have as a possibility for this game?
I think it's probably been in all year. It's just in their book, but I don't think they put it in any particular game plan. I don't know if Coach Cutter game plans like that. They take all the plays they have and they pick and choose what they want that week to put in that particular game plan. And if that's the case this week, maybe, but no, I'm kind of more with Prater on this. That was, 18 years ago when Boise State first went to the Fiesta Bowl, and they used the trick plays because they needed them, right? I mean, it was a dire straits situation of the hook and ladder, but also the Statue of Liberty and the halfback pass. They felt Chris Peterson did. He needed a leg up on that because they didn't have the athletes at that particular time. But I think it's just different era now. But if they do run that, that'd be sweet. I can't see Coach Cutter, kind of he's not like, let's have fun and let's pay homage to all the other past. He's not like Sanford. The Sandman does that stuff, right? I don't know if I can see Cutter doing that. It would be great for the fans, but there's a lot of things that this team needs to get ready for, dotting its I's, crossing its T's, and, doing some trick play just to do it. I don't think that's very high on the priority list, BJ. It'd be fun, though.
As you said, in the 7 Fiesta Bowl, I went back and watched all these games, by the way. I was writing a story about the history of the Fiesta Bowl, and I thought it was, I don't know why, but it was Christmas holidays, and had some time and went back and watched at least like the extended highlights, the 20, 30-minute version, the condensed game on YouTube of the 3 Fiesta Bowls. And obviously, yes, the 2007 game. By the way, Boise State was up 28-10 in that game. I think a lot of people forget that. The trick plays were needed at the end after the pick 6. They fell behind, but they were up 28-10. I think it was. They were dominating
their ass, man. And then the punt hit off the Boise State player's leg, and then Oklahoma was able to kind of flip it, and then Boise State made some errors on their own. And but you're right. Boise State was kicking their ass early in that game. They were.
Those trick plays obviously were obviously, as everybody knows, at the end of the game. I had forgotten, but what a play call and what a trick play on the Kyle Brotzman fake punt in the 2010 game.
Man, right?
10-10 in the fourth quarter, and the play they ran, and Kyle Brotzman hitting them on the run for the first down. They end up scoring to take the lead, and they win 17-10. So that was a trick play that they needed and benefited them winning the game. As you said, in 2014, they ran Murica, the version of the Statue of Liberty that they changed it around a little bit. Jay Ajayi scored a touchdown on it, breaking Aaron Tevis' arm, I believe, while barreling his way into the end zone. But they were already up 14-0 at that point. That was just kind of a homage to the past. Didn't really need to run the play. It put them up 21-0. So I don't know. They're wearing the same uniform. Spencer's talking a lot about the history and all this stuff. Like, Spencer seems like the kind of guy that might tell Dirk we need to have this play in there, but I'm not sure Dirk's going to be crazy about on his own finding a way to call this unless there's a perfect spot for it, I guess.
Dirk's trying to win the game. That's what they're going to do. And, Chris Peterson, I hate even using the term trick play for what Chris Peterson did, because he was such a mastermind at like the double pass, the wide receiver pass. Go back and look at all the Boise State wide receivers who have thrown passes and thrown them well and for touchdowns. Go back and look at all the Washington Huskies wide receivers that would throw passes. Chris Peterson was a master at that double pass, and they would use that really, really well. We haven't seen that this year with this team either. Again, just kind of this team's blue collar offensively, right? You run the ball, you play action, you try to get some splash plays and get some pressure on defense, and they've been able to win that way, BJ.
Chris wants flea flicker on the first play. Penn State stacked blocks. Everyone's expecting the Genty run first play. Flea flicker, throw it deep.
Cam Camper.
Which, by the way, that's one of the questions at Media Day. Does he have any thought of coming back for another year now with that new ruling?
He should. I think he should.
Marion McCoy. I mean, there's now some questions to ask. I think the obvious storyline, Johnny, in this game, and we can break down all this different stuff, whatever, but is Ashton Genty going to be able to run on the Penn State defense? And Penn State comes into this game number 7 in the country, only giving up an average of 100.36 yards per game. Again, 7th best rush defense in the entire country. They've only given up 7 rushing touchdowns on the entire season. Again, Ashton Genty, I believe, has 29 rushing touchdowns. Penn State has only given up 7 on the entire season. They are giving up 3.11 yards per carry. Ashton Genty's season average is more than double that. I mean, we can say all we want about, Maddox Madsen being ready to make them pay if they want to stack the box and all this. But I mean, Ashton Genty is going to have an Ashton Genty, or at least a almost Ashton Genty, solid game. And they're going to have to be able to run the football if they're going to be able to, in my opinion, have a real chance to win this.
Yeah. What an opportunity for Genty, right? Haven't seen him play since the Mountain West Championship, the entire Heisman situation. So, I mean, Ashton Genty, and we've seen this, like we've seen him this year. We've seen him in the last 5 months, BJ. He's just become famous. Everybody knows who Ashton Genty is. You probably have your buddies in Kansas texting you about Genty. I have my buddies all over Seattle, wherever. Everybody knows who he is. If he blows up again and on New Year's Eve and just rips up Penn State and is just Genty, the best player in America, probably a top 2 or 3 NFL back the second he puts a helmet on. These are what scouts say too, not just an opinion of a radio guy here, man. I mean, this is what scouts say about Ashton Genty and his NFL talent. Like, he will be a high-level NFL running back, but if he does do that, BJ, he's going to go to a different level, man, and he has that opportunity. Here's why I think it's impossible to bottle him up, because he has such home run capability. At some point, he's going to bust one if he's 100% or close to health. And I think he's as healthy now as he's been since August. The offensive line is as healthy now since August, since before Georgia Southern when Mason Randolph went down. So I don't know if Penn State fans are factoring that in or if they even care. But Boise State will be as healthy as it's been on the offensive line and Genty. And when we've seen the healthy Genty, I don't care who it is. It's just a matter of time. If he finds his crease, see ya. I mean, go back and put the Oregon tape on. And I know those dudes are fast. And I know those dudes will be at the combine. They could not catch him. They didn't look any faster than the Georgia Southern dudes who could not catch him. So at some point, I know it's Penn State. Wow, linebacker U, and they are serious. I mean, it's one of the great programs ever. Oh my gosh, what's Boise State going to do? You know, we've seen Ashton Jeanty at some point or another. He's going to be able to shift into third gear. And then all of a sudden, when he shifts into fourth, it's see ya. It is good night. We don't see this guy get caught from behind. So to bottle Jeanty up, I don't see it, man. He's going to hit a home run at some point. And if you're lucky defensively, he doesn't do what he did to Oregon, which is hit like 2 or 3 home runs and having everybody in the stadium, as good as Oregon is and everything, just looking around saying, holy shnikes, who is that guy? What? Like, he did that at Oregon. He stole the show completely. Dan Lanning would have traded any 3 players on his roster for Jeanty that night after that game. Wouldn't that be something that they can start working trades in college football, BJ? But yeah, dude, I don't see it. I don't see Jeanty getting bottled up, and I'll be the first person to say, wow, Penn State, tremendous game plan. You locked him up. Boise State, dang it, they just didn't have the horses. Penn State's just too big, too bad, too athletic, too strong. They just couldn't hang. But Boise State's had opportunities where you would say that about that team before, and you never end up saying that about Boise State. They always come to play, it feels like, in these big games. And I think Ashton Jeanty is going to come to play, BJ.
Remember Jay Ajayi in the 2014 Fiesta Bowl? He had announced he was going pro. Everybody knew it was going to be his last game at Boise State.
Yeah.
Essentially the same thing as Jeanty's essentially announced. Everyone knows he's going to the NFL, potentially his last game. Obviously, if they win, they get another game. But in 2014, it was the last game, and it was the first drive of the game, I believe, and it was 4th and 1, and they stacked the box, and Jay Ajayi went for, I think, a 51-yard touchdown run up the middle, did the J train in the end zone, and they had the 7-0 lead, and Boise State was kind of off and rolling.
Chaz Anderson had that deep pass, if you remember.
With Jay Ajayi, though, I think Arizona thought, oh, he's a Mountain West running back.
Yeah.
We're going to get this guy, whatever. And I'm not saying Penn State's saying that about Jeanty. I mean, you finish second in the Heisman, he's going to have their respect, but they probably feel like, oh, Ashton Jeanty hasn't run on a lot of defenses like ours. We're going to show him early in the game, especially if he could bust one or have a run early in the game to get the Boise State crowd into it, and also maybe kind of punch Penn State in the mouth right off the bat and go, okay, Boise State, okay, we can get some pushes
available. Yep.
I think a 3-and-out or Jeanty getting stuffed for a couple of losses early in the game wouldn't obviously be ideal. You mentioned people all over the country knowing who Jeanty is. I think I told this story before, but like a month ago or so, my brother was at a bar in St. Louis in the bathroom, and he literally was just going to the bathroom, and he overheard 2 guys arguing in the 2 stalls next to him, and one guy goes, "It's got to be Travis Hunter, man," and the other guy goes, "No, man, it's got to be Jeanty." And I mean, they're arguing over the Heisman Trophy while using the facilities in a random bar in St. Louis. Like, yes, everybody knows now Ashton Jeanty. And with this game, Johnny, being Tuesday night, it's the only game on. It's New Year's Eve.
Oh, God. Yes. If Jeanty goes crazy and breaks Barry's record, my question to you, if Jeanty scores a touchdown and it's like a home run touchdown where he's just gone, does he strike the pose even though it's all over? Or does he bury that and he doesn't care anymore? He does whatever little dance Ashton's going to do. Does he still come back and strike that pose and say, you guys, I should have won that? I don't know. I could see him doing both.
I don't think that'd be a good look. You lost. I mean, you could definitely make a case you deserved it. I don't know if striking the pose again after you lost is the best thing. This is a dumb question, but did Barry Sanders have any kind of famous celebration or thing that he would do when he scored?
Yes, he did. One of the most famous things any athlete's ever done.
What
Nothing. He just handed the ball to the ref. Should Ashton do that?
If Ashton Jeanty breaks the record, I think he just hands the ball to the ref. We saw Travis Kelce yesterday slam the ball in honor of Tony Gonzalez.
Loved it.
Yeah. And Tony Gonzalez, by the way, said he would pay the fine, I guess.
Loved it. Yes, I saw that too. Loved it. BJ, that's an idea. And Ashton, if you're tuned in right now, dude, just do that. If you score a touchdown, just be Barry Sanders, personality, tone, monotone, and walk over there and hand the ball to the referee.
That'd be watching would have any idea what he was doing, though. Probably 5%.
Yeah, they would. I don't know. I mean, who's on the call for this one?
Bob Wischusen and Louis Riddick.
Oh, yeah, Riddick's on the call. Nice, man. Got to get him on IST.
Chris says, strike the pose. He is the real Heisman.
I don't know. He might. Genty's kind of like that, dude. Like he lets people know his opinion, which I think people are going to love when they get to know him more too. I mean, and he backs it up, dude. Like, you don't think Genty's seeing all this about Penn State? There's just no chance Boise State can run the ball on this Penn State defense. It's so funny too, because if you go to any college football week, there's probably 10 to 15 games where a team that has no business beating a team beats a team. I mean, NIU at Notre Dame, and I could go Alabama at Vanderbilt. I mean, you can go on and on and on and on. And sometimes in the college football narrative and the disgusting conversations and the arguments that go back in the social media realm in college football now, I hate it, BJ. It's bugging the hell out of me. But, you know, with all that involved, when with the back and forth and the talk, BJ, like to think that a group of 5 or a team of that caliber just has no chance to play with that, like those people should be proven wrong every single week. BJ, look at the starting lineups of every Big Ten and SEC school and highlight all the players who have transferred in from the G5 or even the FCS. Like, freaking Big Ten schools are going after my boy Dwyer, my Vandal receiver. He's playing in the Big Sky, and he has multiple Big Ten schools saying, you can play for us. We'll pay you to play for us. So, I mean, come on, man. Like, this could be, I don't know, that to me, that whole conversation and that conversation never dies in college football. And it feels like it's proven the other way almost every single week. And I'm not saying week in, week out. If Boise State played Bama 12 straight weeks, which would never happen, these hypotheticals in college football, yeah, maybe they'd be 4-8. Sure. I don't know, 3-9. That's not the case. And I don't think it might not be the case for the Fiesta Bowl, BJ. If I was a betting man on this, I'd like Boise State plus 10. I'd feel good about that.
Oh, it's up to 11 in some spaces now. Yeah, it's crazy. We'll get to that in a second. But first, Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game. Check them out, thespateam.com. Whether you're looking for a spa, maybe a pool table for the game room, a sauna, they got you covered. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. Check them out via their full inventory online at thespateam.com. Lithia Ford of Boise, they got their holiday ready sales event going on now. You can save up to $12,000 on the 2024 Ford Expedition Limited, almost $9,000 on the 2024 Ford F-150 STX Super Crew, and $8,500 on the 2024 Ford Bronco Badlands. Some great deals going on right now. The weather is getting cold and icy. Make sure you have a vehicle for the conditions, that four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive vehicles. Check them out via their full inventory online at lithiafordboise.com. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com is their website. They are hiring, so if you're looking for a job, you can go online and apply or just stop by any of the Treasure Valley Taco Bell locations. The SON Management Group, the Nicolason family, offering great benefits, including half your wages the next day after your shift, free food while you work, great promotional opportunities. If you're looking for a new career, fresh start, maybe consider the folks over there at Taco Bell. Speaking of jobs, how about transportation compliance service? Maybe the trucking industry is more up your alley. The local company here helping out folks all over the world. Transportation compliance service, all your DOT overweight, permits, whether you're applying to start your own company, going to apply for a job at a trucking company. If you want to get into the trucking business, they can get you towing that first load in no time online at transcomservice.com. Our friends at Jackson's, check them out. Jackson's, $2 for a hot dog and a soda at Jackson's in January and February when the basketball team scores 70 points. And don't forget, you can also get a hot dog for 25 cents of your hot dog goes to support the Horseshoe Collective. They donated $100,000 to the collective just off 25-cent hot dog credits there in 2024. So you want to go get some food, some snacks, some gas, do it at Jackson's. And when you pick up a hot dog, don't forget 25 cents goes back to support the Horseshoe Collective. Timberstone Golf Course, check them out as well. PlayTimberstone.com. It's, they got the indoor simulators and things. Check them out online at PlayTimberstone.com. Lean Feast, LeanFeastMeridian.com. Check them out as well. LeanFeastMeridian.com. 10,000 plus combinations, all healthy eating options. Football team, basketball team, they're feeding them all. You can get delivery anywhere in the Treasure Valley now online at LeanFeastMeridian.com. Our friends at Signature Roofing, we had a voicemail come in too close to the show, so I'll play it tomorrow. But Signature Roofing, voice inbox line if you want to leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/BNN, speakpipe.com/BNN. Leave your voicemail, we'll play it, and it's brought to you by Signature Roofing, covering our community for more than 20 years, whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an inspection, an estimate, they got you covered. Check them out online at Signature Roofing, mysignatureroofing.com. And Johnny, Fiesta Bowl gear probably made some great Christmas gifts. If you're still looking for that gear for the game, they got the Please Count Us Out shirts there in the official color. If you're going to the game, you're supposed to wear orange. So they've got the orange Please Count Us Out shirt there, all the different Fiesta Bowl options. They've got the new gear now with the Penn State matchup, some awesome hats, pullovers, hoodies, all that good stuff. You can order online at theblueandorangestore.com. But if you're in the Boise area, just go to the Boise Town Square Mall there next to Pro Image. The Please Count Us Out shirts, all the Fiesta Bowl gear right there at the Boise Town Square Mall next to Pro Image. Johnny, you mentioned a couple events going on where you're going to be broadcasting from. One of them is Turf Paradise Racetrack. December 30th at noon is when the races start. You guys will be on 3 to 6, the Bronco Nation Stakes. Johnny, I know you go on at 3 o'clock, and 3 o'clock is when they're doing this race. Is there any chance we can time a commercial break so you can come down and help hand out the trophy in the winner's circle? The Bronco Nation Stakes. It's a horse race, the first horse race ever on blue turf. It's history, and it's going to be going on at 3 o'clock on the 30th. So make sure you come hang out with us. Use promo code BNN20 to get 20% off tickets. We're super excited about this. BNN20 gets you 20% off your tickets, and we're only talking like $25 for tickets. You get into the beer garden. There's going to be food, drink, all kinds of great things. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hang out with some other Boise State fans. It's going to be beautiful weather. I saw like 70 and sunny now on Monday, and then you can go when it ends at 4, head on down to the pep rally, which is 4 to 7. So if you're looking for something to do the day before the game, you don't even have to bet on the races. Just come hang out, have some drinks with some other Boise State fans, and they are donating $1 from every beer sold to the Horseshoe Collective. So you can check that out. And Johnny, I know you're a big horse racing guy. I know that's going to be a cool event with the blue turf and a lot of former players coming to hang out. I'm sure you'll be getting some on your show. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, big time. And that's really cool. They're going to paint that blue turf there for Boise State fans. You guys come out to this thing, man. I already got a couple of tables lined up in the turf club up there, BJ, for our families. So we're going to be out there. You guys get out there. I mean, are you kidding me? A day at the races in Arizona when it's like 70 freaking degrees? Heck yeah. Hopefully some people can come out and spend a day at the track, BJ. And who knows, maybe there'll be a horse named like BJ or Johnny in that Bronco Nation Stakes, and we can put a couple of bucks on that and have some fun. So it's going to be a good time. We'll see everybody out there. That's just coming in a few days too. Like the week's all crazy, man. Let's get back to the game. Let's get back to this, man.
I put the link in the chat there. So if folks want to buy your tickets there, buy them in advance to get the 20% off, and you can use promo code BNN20 deal. We have a lot of cool things going on down there at the Fiesta Bowl, Johnny, and I have a surprise for you, sir. We are super excited as one of our events, one of our, personalities, all the stuff we have going on, pregame, postgame, a guy that has coached in the Fiesta Bowl, a guy that has called America in the Fiesta Bowl, a former Boise State quarterback who has been in that media room that you're talking about, answering questions. Well, BNN is sending him down to the Fiesta Bowl to help out with our coverage, and he also joins us right now here on Bronco Nation.
What? Son of a gun, man. We were just talking about you.
Hey, it's great seeing you guys' faces, and I'm going to actually physically see you guys in just about 2 days. And I can't wait to be down in Phoenix. I'm really excited. Thank you to Bronco Nation News and all the sponsors for making this happen. For me, it's going to be quite a whirlwind starting tomorrow. I'm flying to Tucson to do the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl on the national radio broadcast, and then I'll be headed down to Phoenix on the morning of the 29th, and we'll be there with BJ, providing all our great Boise State fans the great coverage. And for me, it's going to be the actual 10-year anniversary of the last Fiesta Bowl that I coached in. Well, actually, I coached in one in 2015 for Notre Dame, but the one that counted was the one that Boise State won against Arizona on. Yes, it was December 31st, 2014, 10 years to the day. So it's going to be a lot of fun, fellas.
Yes, it was. Coach, a couple of things, man. We're talking about this game, Boise State-Penn State, and as someone who's coached Notre Dame, Boise State, a bunch of different places. What do you subscribe to the narrative that, it's a team from the Mountain West and it's what they do and they do it well for their level, but stop it. This is Penn State. You've coached against Penn State. Is that true?
Yeah, I don't see that narrative, and I think the narrative's getting overblown right now because of what happened in the round one games, all of which were true road games. Don't undersell the importance of having a neutral site football contest, let alone an actual venue that has had so many historical moments for a program in Boise State. The other thing that I see, like the SMU is getting absolutely obliterated. You could even go to potentially Arizona State in their second round game, their first game in this CFP tournament. Boise State matches up well in the trenches on both sides of the football. And that's where you see the Cinderella story in football. It comes to an end when you might have a big time receiver, say it's Nick Nash in San Jose State playing against the big dog. You're not going to be able to function offensively or defensively if your trenches can't hold up. Where I think Boise State's trenches are going to not just hold up, I think they're going to be the main storyline coming out of this game that I do believe is going to be a Boise State win.
Oh, I mean, 11-point spread, though. I've seen you talk about it. A lot of people have said this. Like, I was thinking 6 or 7. Like, certainly Penn State should be favored, but the amount of people, and I've yet to see a national person, they're just saying, oh, we hope we don't get more blowouts like we saw in the first round. Like, the amount of people that just are just chalking this up as an easy Penn State win. Like, and I mean, I'm not sure in terms of how many times you've been familiar with this as a coach, but Spencer Danielson seems like the perfect guy to be like, bring it on. And he's letting his players know about this. And I know that sometimes can get overplayed or whatever, and as a cliche type thing, but they really do seem to be buying into the, give us no chance. That's just how we want it.
I love it. And I mean, that's what Boise State as a program has been founded upon. I think, maybe the last decade or so, and maybe even following, the second Fiesta Bowl, the win over TCU, I feel like Boise State as a program it's almost like the expectations were so high to be that team every year that you got away from that chip on your shoulder program, that blue collar, we're going to find a way to prove everybody wrong. Well, here's your opportunity, right? This is probably, the Oregon game was an opportunity, although I don't think many people gave them a chance going into that game after the Georgia Southern game and how that went. But it was a tremendous surprise to not only be in that game, but have a chance to win that game. And frankly, I stand by the fact that they should have won that game. I think this is a great opportunity for Boise State to get back into the driver's seat, if you will, as the underdog with something to prove. And bring all the narratives on. I don't think that Penn State, I don't think James Franklin, I don't think their players are looking down on Boise State at all. But I think there's something just psychologically that creeps in to maybe how these first round games went and the big blue bloods all dominated. That doesn't just happen by showing up. You have to actually go out and do it. And in the case of Penn State, their path to getting a 11-point or more victory is if Boise State turns the ball over 3 or more times. It will not be a pretty sight. And that's what I come back. My biggest key to the game, if Boise State can have 1 or fewer turnovers, they're going to win this football game. And 2, I'd say it's a bit of a toss-up. I'd say advantage to Penn State. But if you turn the ball over 3 or more times like SMU did, where you're just volleyball tipping it up to them and just saying, hey, man, smash it home, you're going to get obliterated. That's just the bottom line.
And, Johnny, I'll say this, too. Like, Boise State fans have had a 2-week head start on buying all these tickets in the open market. And you also talk about all these Penn State fans, 11-point favorites, like, they're saving their money for the Orange Bowl. Like, I would not shock me if Boise State has a pretty good crowd advantage in this game.
Yeah, I would slow down the rhetoric on that a little bit, just from the standpoint that, guys, Penn State is the flagship university, not just the state of Pennsylvania, for the entire Eastern Seaboard. If you're a college football fan, who else in the actual geographical Eastern Seaboard is a blue blood? Really, Notre Dame would be the only other one but it's in Indiana. It's in the Midwest geographically. There are so many freaking Penn State fans having lived in the East Coast. Like, I lived in Connecticut, and there were, I don't know, 5 out of every 10 people I met was a Penn State, with no connection to the university, just a Penn State lifer.
It'll be at least 50-50, though.
I agree with that.
I'm not saying
I agree with that.
But I think Boise State could have a 50-50 or slight advantage in this game. But I mean,
it'll feel like a true neutral site game, and it'll be absolutely electric.
Coach, what are you game planning at the quarterback position if you're calling this offense, and maybe drawing back to 10 years ago, you're game planning with Grant Hedrick against his Arizona defense that had, I believe, the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year that season, and he was
right.
Excuse me?
Is that Scooby Wright on that team?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Scooby Wright, and then who was the former Boise State player, the
Tevis.
brother?
Aaron
Yeah,
Tevis.
Tevis.
Statue of Liberty in the end zone.
It was ugly. I remember seeing, like, I had no idea during the game, and somebody told me that his arm like snapped, and I was like, "What? That happened?" And like, I went and watched the replay, and you see it go the wrong way, and I'm like, "Oh gosh, man, that's a family member of a Bronco. That kind of sucks." But from a game plan standpoint, you got to realize that Penn State under James Franklin kind of turned the tides on really as an identity of a program behind the defensive coordinatorship of Manny Diaz. And Manny Diaz he will blitz you from every single area, every direction. And so, James Franklin wanted to replicate that in his new defensive coordinator hire, and did it with a guy that I really like and I know very well. In fact, I've talked to him about jobs that when he was the head coach at Indiana, Tom Allen. And Tom Allen's he's gonna blitz you. And so you have to have pressure answers. SMU, I thought that was as bad of a plan to prepare a young quarterback to have answers in the blitz game. It can be pre-snap pressure answers to get into advantageous plays. But at the end of the day, you gotta get the ball out of Maddox Madsen's hand, which he's done incredibly well. He doesn't take sacks at record numbers. He does know where his easiest out is. Buyer beware, and this is I'd say my one concern that slows down my optimism is that he has had some would-be interceptions that have been dropped. I would not count on that with the athletes that you're going to be seeing from Penn State. So you just have to have clean answers. I do think that Boise State receiver-wise, it's kind of a sleeping giant in my opinion, because you do have big, long, athletic receivers on the perimeter like Prince Strawn, and Austin Bolt kind of has that big Y. I think that they could end up having a bit more of a role in the outcome of this game, maybe with some of these heavy man pressure, 50-50 throws down the field. I could see a Prince Strawn making 2 of those and an Austin Bolt making 1.
What do you feel about Gent? I mean, they're the number 7 rush defense in the country. All you hear from James Franklin so far is, it starts and stops with Genty. I mean, you're talking about Madsen here and some of the things he's done, but I mean, what's your confidence level that Genty's going to be able to have a Genty game against these guys? Because you would certainly think odds are they're going to need him to have a good game for them to have a chance to win.
It's going to be tough, fellas. I'm not going to sit here and make that up. I actually consider this what I would predict if it's a cleanly played football game. It's going to be a fairly low scoring affair. 225 yards rushing, I don't see in the cards, but it'd be beautiful if it happened. And I won't be able to say I told you so. But I think it's going to be a quintessential Genty performance. But he's going to be healthy, so it's going to be earned. If you do pressure a ton, if you bring a lot of blitzes, I just think that you're in a place where you can have some gashes. So Penn State calls like 6-7 man pressures, and I've seen it. I saw it with Jim Harbaugh against Vance Joseph and the Denver Broncos. Like when you see a heavy blitz package, you get to gap schemes, you call duo, you call power, you call counter, and you might just be able to crease one for a 65-yard gain. I could see that happening. And we all know if Ashton Genty has that kind of green grass in front of him, he's going to score a touchdown. He's shown the top end speed, and that will hold up just like it did against Oregon. It'll hold up against Penn State. My prediction would be like right around the 150 to 170 mark, and I think he'll end up having like a 2-score game.
Well, he needs 131 to get past Barry Sanders, so that's the number I know a lot of people are looking at.
And he's healthy, fellas, and he's fresh. Don't forget.
Yes.
Any chance at a ball talk down there in Phoenix?
Well, I'm down. I'm game. Yeah, I'm there. I have no plans. So BJ, I'm just going to be I'm going to be a Robin to your Batman. So we'll roll with whatever. We've had some requests on the social media and keep them coming, man. We need to have a ball talk. This is a major event right here. This is going to be fun. This is the biggest game in school history, guys.
It is.
It ain't even close. Guys, it ain't even close.
Looking forward to hanging out together. There's going to be some media parties and things, some happy hour events. I mean, Mike, there's some former player like collective events. You kind of get to double dip as media and former player and all kinds of stuff. I mean, Johnny, this guy's going to have a credential in the press box sitting watching this game. You just can't wear the hat in the press box there, Mike.
I know. I made that mistake at the CSU game last year. It's probably why the outcome was the way it was. I should
his entire jacket and hat and everything.
Well,
hey,
To be fair, BJ, I did start out going to the game with my family. So I was in the stands, and
Yeah.
I was in enemy territory here in Fort Collins, Colorado. So I absolutely had to represent.
It's going to be a reunion down there. I mean, you're going to see a lot of players you played with, a lot of players you coach. You'll be bumping into Thomas Spurbeck and Chaz Anderson running around. What was the play you called to Chaz for the touchdown? You remember it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of our staple pass plays. It was Doc left, York dive, climb. And Niner just looked over and he saw a safety that was playing a little bit lower in cover 4. He looks over at Chaz, gives him a little take signal. So it turns the basically a go route that's just you're running it to clear the space. He turned it into a take post, safety bit down on the tight end. Boom, shot over the top. So it was Niner calling his shot. And we didn't even give him the flexibility to signal to the boundary receiver. And he just did it in the biggest of moments. And the rest is history. That was a really fun game.
On his own. Hedrick just he changed that at the line of scrimmage. You were up there on the boot in the box seeing exactly what he did. And
yeah, and you know what I did? I did the stereotypical, like, yeah, I called that. Wait, I didn't. I didn't. So
appreciate you, man. You got a show you got to get ready for. Thanks for popping on. Awesome. Good luck at the Snoop Dogg Bowl. Hope you get a lot of gin and juice and whatever else they're passing out there as the sponsor. And I know you're making it a big deal. I mean, we're helping out a little bit, but this is mostly Mike Sanford on his own, wanting to stick around, help out, provide coverage. I mean, you're doing this because you're a good dude and you want to help us out and you want to be there. And so we really appreciate you giving up your time, wanting to come do this. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be work, but it's going to be a lot of times to tell some jokes and have some fun too. And it'll be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, getting ready for the Tuesday. We'll have pregame, postgame. We're going to be at a bar, I think pregame, Mike, with a lot of former players and stuff coming on. It's going to be a lot of fun. At the Riddle, he'll stop by too. So we're going to have a lot of fun, but get some work done as well. And Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl should be a lot of fun, Mike. We appreciate it, and we'll see you in a couple days.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Get Snoop in the booth for calling.
We're working our tail off to get that done, man. We're actually have a production meeting here at 1:00 after the radio show. So
congrats on that gig too. That's awesome, Coach.
No, it'll be fun. And just a quick plug, shameless self-promotion. Basically, if you have an Alexa device or you're on Sirius XM, we'll be on the national broadcast on radio. So it'll be me and Brian Haney, the voice of the Kansas Jayhawks, and Tim Murray of VSiN. So two great friends of the program, and it's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun. And actually, CSU sold out all of its ticket allotment and is bought up about half of Miami of Ohio's ticket allotment. So it's going to be a fun atmosphere down in Tucson.
Wow. We'll see you Sunday. Appreciate it, Mike.
I appreciate you guys. Yeah, let's just trim up our beards before we go, though, man. We got to look sharp. We don't want to look like a bunch of tools from Boise, Idaho that don't take care of themselves. So we got to make sure we get it right, okay?
We'll do, Mike. Appreciate it. There he is, Mike Sanford. Johnny, to have a guy that literally was the offensive coordinator in a Fiesta Bowl. There's only 3 of them. Boise State's only got 3 offensive coordinators. 3 guys that have been the OC in a Fiesta Bowl. Like he's it's pretty cool to have him involved with BNN and with you and me and having him come down to Phoenix is going to be cool.
Yeah, it is. Well done. That was a complete surprise to me for all the viewers, too. I did not know that was coming. I did not know Coach is coming down there. So it's going to be a great trip for him. And, again, it just enhances the BNN coverage. Like, we just can't Mike Sanford can provide something that just no one else with BNN can. He's called plays. He knows exactly what's going on in preparation and schematics. He's coached against James Franklin multiple times. So his insight, you can't pay enough for that. And he's very entertaining too. And I'm really happy to hear he got that radio gig. I know Coach wants to, he wants to go into media. He wants to do this and be big time. And you got to get your start, and congratulations to him for getting that national radio gig. That's cool.
Somebody's asking on the chat if you're going to bring some of the do you have any Heisman stickers left for the trip?
We do. I don't know if people still want them, but yeah, I'll throw a couple in there and pack them. Yeah.
Okay. And Bob says like and subscribe or stay on the naughty list till 2026. I agree with you there, Bob. So, Johnny, going to be a lot of fun. You guys are back on the air today and tomorrow, correct?
Yes, sir. 3 p.m. Idaho Sports Talk resumes. Going to be a good one, BJ.
That'll be, I'm sure, a lot of Dirk Cutter audio. We got Ashton Genty talking today, Maddox Madsen as well. So the big dogs on the offensive side of the ball will talk today. Tomorrow will be Eric Chenander and the defensive side of the ball. And then heading down this weekend, BNN, by the way, stopping off in San Jose. We will have coverage of the basketball game on Saturday, pregame, postgame, Boise State basketball against San Jose State. That is a 2 o'clock Pacific time game, 3 o'clock in Boise. And then Bob and I have a flight later that night to Phoenix. We'll be ready to go Sunday morning for the media day. Johnny, appreciate your time as always, man. Looking forward to it. Going to be a lot of fun with BNN and KTIK and the coverage down there in Phoenix for the Fiesta Bowl. And kudos to KTIK for sending you and Prater and getting that done, because that's going to be big time for your listeners as well on the radio side. And you'll have the cool shows on Monday and Tuesday as well. So I guess Johnny reached his allotted time at 9:49, so he's out. So appreciate all you guys for checking us out. Go subscribe if you can. BNN 50 deal, $50 subscription for a full year at BroncoNationNews.com. There he is. He's
Sorry,
man. I pressed the wrong button. We're done. We're done. You can leave. That's all right. I was finishing up, but no, we appreciate Johnny. Appreciate KTIK. Going to be great coverage down there. And if you're able to help us out and subscribe, we'd love to have you. BNN 50 deal, and we'll have live coverage throughout the weekend and throughout the week next week in Phoenix, getting ready for the game. But again, today and tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Listen to Johnny and Prater there at 3 o'clock, and they'll have all the sound and of Dirk Cutter and all that stuff for the next couple of days. So appreciate it. We'll see you guys in Phoenix. Hope to see you at the horse racing event on Monday. And we're going to have a lot of fun stuff coming for you. Appreciate it. Listen to KTIK today. Tust and I will have BNN live tomorrow morning at 9. And then it's off for basketball and then football. It's going to be a fun 5 days from kickoff. It's going to be a slow, fast. I don't know how the time's going to go here for kickoff, but excited for the Fiesta Bowl, excited to get down to Phoenix, and excited for BNN and KTIK's coverage. Subscribe if you can. Like the broadcast. Tell your friends. Retweet, all that good stuff. And read our coverage at BroncoNationNews.com. We will talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.